Hello, guys. I'm back, and it's starting to look a lot like Christmas. Welcome to episode 16, Liverpool's title to lose now. Cheers.
Cheers. So, Samarth, how did that go? Is that what you expected?
It is something I'd hoped for, definitely. What a game at Anfield. And more than the result, I think just the performance as well. We've beaten City at Anfield in the past, but we totally demolished them in a sense of like we outplayed them, outthought them, outran them. Like it looked like my players were on steroids, especially in the first half. And just the tactical tweaks that Arne Slot has implemented in this Liverpool side and how they're shifting as per the team they're facing. It's just been incredible.
Man, in the first 20 minutes of that game, City looked like a championship side,
Dude,
especially.
I was so mad because, these opportunities against City, you're supposed to capitalize on. And in the first 20, we should have been 2 to 3 goals above, like Van Dijk hitting the post or just certain chances, we were all over them. And how City comes back to bite you, I was like so stressed throughout the game. But yeah, eventually we got the job done.
Like I don't understand so much about how City set up in that game. Um, they started playing a very high line, and then they had Ake and on the other side Walker with both Luis Diaz and Salah, who just it was like long ball, one on one, and 8 out of 10 times both Salah and Luis Diaz beat
Got the
the
better.
fullback. It was a bit better for City once Doku came on, but like even in the first 20 minutes, like they should have like Van Dijk hit the post, then he missed a header from like 8
Yeah.
meters out. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
it was just like, dude, that should have been a cricket score already. And then the goal was also so simple. Like it was just so
Dude,
simplistic.
but the
Yeah.
goal was the goal was madness though. That would be my I Test FC play of the week, where Trent Alexander-Arnold just a cheat code, like getting the ball and just what a pass. Like what a pass to just have that vision. And to top it up, Mohamed Salah, how are you even seeing that ball? Like what is your vision? Like I was like, okay, who is he gonna pass to? And wow. Like there's no way Gakpo can miss from there and 1-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah. And also on that goal, right? Why did why did Edison get dropped for Ortega?
I don't know actually. I thought he was injured, but then he was also on the bench, so I wasn't sure what the situation is there. I also expected KDB to start. Like if he didn't start midweek in the Champions League, I
Hmm.
thought Pep was saving him for the Liverpool game. Also, like speaking of the lineup, right? What was Matthias Nunez doing on left wing? Like that was one of the most random things to
Bro, the
happen.
guy's a center mid. Like I have.
Yeah,
Okay, sure. People are saying he's been a bright spark for City, but I don't get it. I don't see it like at all, bro. Like you can see Liverpool's
yeah,
wingers like bombing on on the wings, and this guy is just like leisurely getting the ball, playing it back to like Ake, like nothing forward, never beating Trent at all, trying to beat Trent and getting like stopped.
yeah, just losing every duel. Also, congratulations, Arjun. I would like to congratulate you and me. You know why? Because both of us have the same goals as Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, and Savinho combined in the Premier League. So, congratulations to us.
Yeah, you're not earning 100 grand a week, but
Yeah,
come on.
I'll take it.
You know, one thing I have to say is Foden should have made something tick for City. And
Yeah.
when City were attacking, Liverpool just managed to isolate Haaland. And nothing really went through Foden. Like Foden tried to pass, but most of it was sideways. Nothing really was through the lines. And that's what surprised me more about how City set up because you could say that City should have been more defensive. And actually, in large periods of that game, City were like on the back foot.
In the second half, I think they played it well. Like in terms of just holding that line and taking that chance. Like there were signs of like, them trying to come in and get that 1-0, like and get back in the game. But for all of Liverpool's plaudits,
Mm.
like one thing that I'd like to highlight, Virgil van Dijk is obviously getting his flowers, and in terms of how incredible he was, bar that one KDB blip. But the person that I'd like to highlight is Joe Gomez, because Ibrahima Konate has been a staple in that Liverpool side. Joe Gomez has been playing at right back or maybe at centre back here and there. To come in a game of this magnitude, you don't know where his mindset has been. You don't even know where his fitness levels have been. And to come in and for me to not even miss Konate at all, just super smooth throughout, not losing a single duel, ground or aerial. Just incredible performance, man, and
Mm.
should get his due because Van Dijk will, but Joe Gomez was also incredible.
Yeah, I think Van Dijk was very good. Like to be honest, I watched the whole game. I didn't see that much of Joe Gomez. Although I do have to say, from a player who caught my eye, Kwanzaa, when he came on to replace Trent, very, very. I didn't expect him to be
Yeah,
so good in closing down that side, and Doku on the other hand as well. And he just did
yeah,
really, really well and was good defensively on that side. I was completely surprised that Trent after the game he had, just because he got beaten 3-4 times by Doku, like was ruthless and being subbed off. But when Kwanzaa came in, completely shut the game down. And Liverpool were also more reserved in the second half. And I think that's something Liverpool
yeah.
fans need to get used to seeing, that when they're a goal up, they just
But
need
that's
to.
great though.
It should be. Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was attacking also. It's not like he lost that, but with Klopp, and again, all of this is because of Klopp and the squad that he's built for Arne Slot. But is exactly what you mentioned. Arne Slot realizes where to take out the emotion from the game and win. Like it's not the basketball type of football you're seeing anymore. It's very composed. He understands how to close out the games, and that's what he did.
Entire performance by City just felt like they were
But that,
in two transitions, right? Like a defense playing a defensive game and
yeah.
attack playing a attacking game. It wasn't a team play.
But then there's kudos to Liverpool as well for that because that midfield, especially Gravenberch, were exceptional. Like City's midfield couldn't get anywhere near the ball. Like other than one classic Bernardo Silva run where he started in his own half and weaved his way through. Like there was not much that any City midfielder did. And even speaking of the second goal, a a a player who has played in the Premier League and never lost one, Ruben Diaz. He just gave the ball away. That was very poor. I've not seen Ruben Diaz play, kind of so shakily before. And very smart by Luis Diaz or Salah as well to stop that and, get the pen. And what a penalty by Mo Salah after missing midweek. Like the perfect pen.
Bro, it was a good pen, but one thing you said very surprised me a lot, because as a neutral watching it, I looked at the game and saw that Ruben Diaz had the best game out of City's back four. Like I think the
But still,
fullbacks were shaky.
for his standards, it was like, see, just for the goal, right? You've not seen Ruben Diaz lose the ball like this, and giving it away in the final third like this.
But bro, he was also out for a while. Huh? Like he's not been playing the whole
Yeah,
time.
that's true.
So
That's true. That's
So
true.
two things I want to talk about Liverpool here. One is I think the player that was outright best on the pitch was actually Szoboszlai. Like he just
Yo,
had so much to his game, and we've been speaking about him previous episodes that you've been a bit
yeah,
disappointed by how he's been playing, but last couple of games he's just been running the show. And
he's picked it up.
I've seen like McAllister was okay. I didn't see him as much. Gravenberg did really well in like closing out like the lines of the pass. Uh, but this
Yeah.
guy was everywhere, like with a shot, with the decoy run, with in the half
And the
space
passes
passes
also, you can
also.
see that he's getting that flair back that what we signed him for.
Hmm,
He's just been the runner in the squad, but you're right, in the past couple weeks he's really picked it up. And this is what a good depth does, right? You have Jones who's put in a couple quality performances, and that's I guess gotten Szoboszlai to, pick it up that
sure,
your
sure.
safe spot is not completely safe,
Yeah.
which is great. And more competition just is better.
So, in your opinion, what does this win mean for Liverpool?
So till now I've been relatively conservative in terms of like, it's the first season, this and that. I think this now gives a lot of boost to the squad, to the fans, to the manager in terms of we've just beaten Manchester City. Now, the 10 game run that Liverpool had, where, all of these thumbnails were made that Liverpool haven't played anybody, and these 10 games, including the Arsenals and the Chelseas and the Leverkusens and the Villas and the Brightons and
And the
City and
Madrid, yeah.
Madrid, nine nine wins, zero losses.
Hmm.
9 wins and zero losses. Before this, it was still like, okay, bro, it's been 10 games, 11 games, long way to go in the season. Now at this position, and it's also the momentum. It's where the other two also are. City just look like a lost side. Now, if we speak of Arsenal, now with the return of Martin Odegaard, they're playing in their full flair again, which we'll now come to very shortly. But Liverpool are running away with it right
Hmm.
now. Perfect record in the Champions League, basically perfect in the league.
Hmm.
So, in terms of the momentum as well, it's about not getting maxed out in the phase one of the season. You have a very busy December and January coming up with Konate also injured for 5-6. Hopefully, Jota is back. Our main striker has not been there for months now. So it's about how the team keeps on doing, but Liverpool are the favorites
So, who
now.
do you think is Liverpool's biggest threat?
I think it's Liverpool in itself. I don't really care about anybody else.
Hmm.
It's about if Liverpool can continue winning or no. If we continue winning, I don't care what the
Yeah, I
rest do.
mean, mathematically, that's
Because
true,
there
right?
are
If you're 9 ahead.
no in terms of the cracks as well. Like I can see City, it's about how they bounce back. With Arsenal, it's now how they gain momentum because it's clear that with one or two injuries, Arteta is not being able to tweak the squad. He needs his full 11 to play his football, or else he's a dud. Like in terms of just last, you saw 2 years back with one Saliba injury, this year with an Odegaard injury, the man cannot shift. So it's about there are enough cracks where I don't see Arsenal or City going on a 15 win in a row
Hmm.
trot. So it's about now if Liverpool don't completely blunder up and go on that sort of 3-4 game points dropping, Liverpool's only threat are Liverpool. Like nobody else is close to them right now. But speaking of your team now, and which most people would say is the most likely threat, how do you feel in the last couple weeks after, the last month or so that you've had? How do you feel now about Arsenal's performance?
Man, it feels like fun to watch football again. Like, it feels like
Yeah.
when when Odegaard was out, Arsenal did everything apart from be creative. And
Hmm.
looking at how City played yesterday as drawing a parallel, they did a lot of similarities, right? Like just pass between both their like midfielders, give it out to their wingers. There's no like creative outlets, so they pass back to their midfielders, pass to the fullback, and that's what Arsenal used to do for like months. And they would score because they're very good with set pieces. They're good at pressing at some situations. So it just felt like a very ground out result. Like every game, even that
Yeah.
Arsenal won in that period, felt very ground out. But at the same time, it just feels like, okay, it's not over yet because Odegaard back in, like in the games that Arsenal have won, not just in the league, even in the Champions League, it just feels like
Champions League.
everything just clicks. And
Yeah.
now the other players who seemed very average are starting to show what they
To
can do.
show.
Um,
Yeah.
and you're right, like Arteta needs his first 11. And especially if those big players are out, like the way I see it is, yeah, okay, Saliba being out, the title was gone. Odegaard, if he was gone for like 4 more months, it's gone. But I don't think that's say that injuries are a reason why Liverpool, like, bro, injuries hit everyone equally. Like, if Liverpool don't have Salah, if
Yeah.
Liverpool don't have Van Dijk, tomorrow, bro, you'll also be saying, like, oh, yeah, bro, season was done because they're out. And you,
Sure.
you can't replace those two players. Like, okay, bro, you have a keeper. It depends on how your keeper performs, and Kelleher has been great. But there was like the when you lose your top 1 2 players who are like best in the world in like the outfield, it's very difficult to replace them, and you cannot replace them. So going back to like
Fair
how
enough.
Arsenal played, like a house on fire, right? Like that first half was just like on it, on it, on it. but it just felt
Yeah.
again like very conflicting feeling, right? Because you had Arsenal score 5, giving West Ham a part back into
Two
that
goals.
game. One with a very
Yeah.
good free kick, one with just like goal from nothing. And
Yeah.
Arteta said this, like, you cannot do that. And Arsenal fans just felt the same way. Like, why are you just giving them a route back in? And
Yeah.
one thing I really liked about that game was the game management. Arteta knew, like, okay, we have United in a couple of days at home who are playing well. Let's rest key players. If Partey is back fit, if Saka is good for the game, I think Arsenal can actually, like, should actually win. I think even without them, Arsenal have to start as favorites the next game. And for Arsenal, it's now
Yeah.
just you need to
Obviously.
win. It doesn't matter who you play against.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think the game management is very good because in moments like this, Arsenal and Arteta have learned, by keeping some players exposed on the pitch for far too long. And you could see the drop off in quality. I need to also criticize like Jesus and Sterling, like both of them, very
Hmm.
disappointing from the time they came on. Jesus just tried to overcomplicate things, gave the ball away quite a few times. Again, not really nice to see. Merino was
Yeah.
out this game. I think that's a huge drop off. I was very disappointed in it because a couple of episodes ago, I said he was a 6 on 10, and then he's been playing really well, especially with Odegaard
He's been playing well.
and
Yeah.
with Rice or with Jorginho also. Rice and Odegaard, or Merino and Odegaard, I think that midfield really clicks. And you'll see Arsenal playing a lot through midfield again and dominating games. So I'm happy that Arsenal are clicking in a very busy period. And I think December will define like
That's good.
how the teams do. Arsenal and all that they've done good, and now with Odegaard coming back, they're really hitting form. But throughout all of this chaos, there's another team who's been unpredictable without too many injuries, but identical in wins, draws, losses, goals for, goals against, translating to goal difference,
Everything.
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 A team which was
Everything.
unexpected to be there start of the season by most people, not by you, not by you. You can take credit there. Um, but Chelsea are in, I wouldn't want to say, in my opinion, a title shout, but by the points table, and the points table don't lie, they're like level on points. They're above Man City. They're level on points with Arsenal. They're still 9 points behind. Do you think
Yeah.
Chelsea have an outside chance? Like, what do you think they're doing well?
No. No, I don't think Chelsea have an outside chance for the title. But just for their own team and their own progress, I think it's very commendable.
Hmm.
Like they were in a similar position to United last year, and for them, you can see that Maresca has a system, he has his players, they're kind of clicking. Like if they're at the same, completely same as Arsenal, something must be right,
Sure.
right? Like even in terms of like Arsenal had a couple bad months, but Chelsea have definitely risen compared to where they were last year. So I don't think they're title shout yet. Like I wouldn't place them. I don't think Chelsea fans would either. I think they're just happy to keep winning the next game and see where it goes. I think top four in itself is
Huge
going to be a
achievement. Yeah.
commendable achievement for them this year. If they can also get the Conference League to add to that, then I think that's a very successful first season for Chelsea.
Of course. And here I would like to say two things. Like, I genuinely love a manager who can make a number 9 click and score goals. And under Maresca, Nicholas Jackson has been playing really well, really like
Very
ruthless,
good.
and very good finishing. And he didn't seem like one of those guys who could cut it in the Premier League just by like vibes, not by any stats, not by
Yeah,
his time at Villarreal, nothing,
it was.
just vibes.
It was difficult. But another player, I don't know if this is Maresca related entirely, but after his divorce, Enzo has had 7 goals and assists in 4 games. So good riddance, I
I didn't
guess.
even know he had all that going on.
He got, dude, I just found this on Twitter, which is
What a guy. But
what a-
one thing, as we are very unbiased, is I think Man United have now have a very good manager, because they won 4-0, but they weren't like they didn't blow Everton out of the water. Like if
Hmm.
and even the stats actually back that up. Like, it was like expected goals were like 0.73 versus 0.71, and it ended up being 4-0. And I think Amorim actually alluded to that in the press conference. He actually said, "Hey, it's a good win, but there's a lot more to do." And I think United finally have a manager, especially after the Ten Hag delusion, where it just feels the guy's being honest. He's being
Yeah,
real with the fans. He at least shows that, okay, we are trying to build something from the start, and I think that's very important. It's very nice to see for a for a United fan. Uh,
United fan.
Probably not for anyone else, but I think that's something worthwhile mentioning, considering the game on Wednesday.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's his first real test, a very solid Arsenal side. And I think a quick mention to Brighton, who are also in the top four above City, been playing very well. So quick shout out to Brighton.
Also, Justin Kluivert with like a hat trick of penalties, like away at
Hmm.
Wolves, like Kirkes with a crazy left-footed goal, first time finish, one of the best in the Premier League. I think that's kind of what happened in the Premier League. Sure, Palace with a 94th minute equalizer as well, great, cool, but
Yes,
they're
against
still
Newcastle.
in the
Yes,
relegation zone. Nothing to write home about. Uh,
fair enough. So yeah, I think that's it for the episode. We've got midweek football this week with Arsenal United as the big one. So we'll see how that goes, and we'll see you guys next
See you
week.
guys.